Hey guys. Okay. So I should rotate my phone. Wow. Okay, hey guys. I hope you're good. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to my live. My name is Anson Charmaine. Many of you know already. Yes. The time is 1:09 a.m. and I'm in this beautiful country of Argentina. I'm just chilling in my house and I just decided to go live, guys, and tell you something about myself. Hey, thank you so much for joining. Okay, let me get straight to the point so that I can try to go back to sleep. So, when I was 5 years old, my older brother, who is 6 years older than me, broke his leg, whereas he was playing with his friends. And then after that, he got so much love and so much attention at home. So, as a 5-year-old kid, I also craved so much that type of love and that type of attention. So I wanted to break my legs so bad so that I can also get that type of attention. So 2 years passed. I didn't break my leg, but then whenever I thought about breaking my leg, then I was only 5 years old, so I would just lift one leg up and then jump around with one leg and act as if I broke my leg. Sometimes I would even take his crutches and then I would want to move around with his crutches because I thought it was something. I knew it was painful, but then I didn't know the extent of pain. I just thought that it was something very interesting for you to break your leg and get more attention, more love, more treats from your family members. So 2 years down the road, I was now 7 years old, and I wasn't even thinking about breaking my leg anymore. This one morning, my mama woke up, and then she told me that today you shouldn't be going to play outside. I know that you haven't been going to play outside for a very long time, but then I have a very bad feeling. I feel like something bad is going to happen to you, something that's very, very horrible. So you should be careful. You should play in the yard always. When we were growing up, it was always a rule in my house that nobody goes out to play, even if it's like 2 feet after stepping out of the yard. It was not permitted. We were only permitted to play in the house and to play in the yard. We couldn't even play on the nearest street, the street that was very near to our house, that is like maybe 5 foot near, and we're not allowed to go to our neighbors' houses to play as well. So I was abiding by those rules all the time. But then this day, when my mama sent out a warning to me, it was like she was telling me the opposite. So my mother left after that to do some business, and then after she left, during the day, one neighbor friend called me. She was also around my age. She called me. And then I went out the house. She just shouted my name. I went out the house, and then she started talking to me and say that I should go to her house and play some games with her. So I went to her house. I disobeyed the rules. I knew the rules, but then I just decided that my mother is not going to see me anyway. And by the time when she comes back, I'll be in the house. So she wouldn't even know that I did go out. It's something that she will not know. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. So I decided that, oh no, my mom will not know that I went to her house and I played a little bit, and then I came back home. So I told her, okay, I'll be there in few minutes. And then I went out, and then I went to her parents' yard, and then we started playing. We started playing. So the name of the game we played was called like hopscotch. I don't know if you know it, guys, or you don't know it. Hopscotch is a game whereby like you draw some lines, and then the stone, one stone that's used, like you throw it, and then you have to jump with your one leg from one direction to the other, but then you have to skip the stone. Yeah, it's hopscotch. In Xhosa, it's called mamchweli. Yeah, Xhosa people here will get it, and they will understand what type of game we played. So whereas we were playing the game, my friend started cheating. When it was my turn to play, she refused to let me play. She told me that it was her turn, and she should continue to play although she lost, and then I shouldn't get a chance to play because she's winning and I'm losing. So after that, we started fighting, but then the fight wasn't physical. We didn't fight physically, but then we started shouting at each other. She shouted at me, I shouted at her, and then after that, it was just chaotic. We decided nobody was able to listen. We just decided to play at the same time. In that type of game, there's only one person who's supposed to be playing at a time. So I was jumping with my one leg from one direction going to the other, and then she would do that going to the opposite direction. So we'll just meet in the middle of the lines, and then after that she would ask me, give me a way, I want pass. I would say, no, I'm not giving you no way, you give me a way because I want to pass. So after that, after we met in the middle, and then I felt like I shouldn't be the one giving her away because she's the one who cheated, and she's the one who didn't want to let me play after she called me from my own house. So she got so angry at me, right? And then after she got so angry at me, the shoes that she was wearing, right, they were heavy type of shoes that looked like they had iron inside them, inside the heels. The type of shoes then was called amaqwiza. It was a very, very heavy type of shoe. So on my side, I was playing barefoot. I was not wearing any type of shoe on my feet. So after that, she got so mad at me, and then she asked me one more time, get off the way, get off my way, let me play, let me play. I say, you get off my way and let me play. And then she put her 2 feet on the ground, and then she jumped up angrily, and then she just stepped down with all her weight on my toes. And then after that, I just fell to the ground. When I fell to the ground, I was in an excruciating pain. I started screaming so loudly because the pain was severe on me. My whole leg froze, and then my whole body was in pain. Then I couldn't move after that. I couldn't walk. I tried to get up and walk to my home, but then I couldn't be able to walk. My daddy heard me crying, and then he got out of the house, and then he went to my neighbor's house, and then he lifted me to my home. And then he asked me what happened. I told him everything that transpired. After that, my daddy consoled me, and he was comforting me. He actually thought it's not a big situation. It's just a small problem that can get fixed. So he tried to rub my feet by himself, but then he noticed as he was trying to give me some remedies and rubbing my feet, the situation was intensifying. It wasn't getting any better. So since my leg was swelling very fast and I was screaming non-stop, he called an ambulance because I couldn't walk myself to the taxis. He called an ambulance. An ambulance came urgently to my home, and then it took me to the hospital. Then when we arrived at the hospital, I was given a bed. The doctors checked me, and then they gave me pain blockers. And I was still crying because it was very, very painful. And then at that time, it became late very fast. And then I remember when my daddy took me to the hospital, he didn't prepare to be admitted. He was told upon arrival that we'll be admitted to the hospital and I won't be released the same day as he thought I would, because they say that the injury is severe. And then when it got late, it started getting so cold, very, very cold. And bear in your mind that when we came to the hospital, my daddy was only wearing a t-shirt, one t-shirt, and also they only gave me a bed, and they didn't give no bed to my dad. So around 10 p.m. I saw that my daddy was shivering because of cold, but then he was trying to be strong for me, and he was trying to remain for me there for my own comfort. And he was so tired. Then his head started tilting towards his shoulders, and then he looked like he was gonna fall off the chair as he was trying to sleep on a very small chair, whereas I was comfortable in my bed, although I was under a lot of pain. And I had my one blanket. My daddy didn't have any. So at this point, bear in mind that ever since I was born, that time, I never slept alone in one room, and it was a very scary thing for me to spend a night in my room alone. So I decided that, no man, I think it's time for me to grow up a little bit now. I feel very sympathetic for my dad, and I want to ask him to go home so that he can be comfortable in his bed, and so that he can be able to get a warm blanket, because the night is going to be very long. And if I don't ask him to leave now, if maybe I decide that he leaves at 1 a.m., I can't take this thing anymore of being in pain and seeing my daddy suffer, then the taxis won't be there. So I'd rather let him go home whereas he can. So my 7-year-old person told my daddy that, okay, daddy, you know what, it's okay. I know that I've never slept alone in a room, but I'm going to do it this time for the first time. And you should be going home so that you can be able to get a comfortable bed and get a warm blanket as well. My daddy asked, oh no, I can stay with you the whole night. Are you sure you want me to go? I say, yes, it's okay, you can go home. So daddy prayed for me, and I prayed for myself, and then he left. Then after my daddy left, I was so afraid in that ward, alone for the first time since I was born. And but then it's like I already had a relationship with God, and I knew about prayer, so I would just pray whenever I got afraid, and then I fell asleep, and then I waked up in the morning. Then the next day the doctors came, they checked me, and then my mother also arrived at the hospital. And when my mother arrived at the hospital, she asked me how I was, and at that time I realized that The attention that I thought I was gonna get when I was 5 years old, if I were to break my leg, it's not the attention I will get in real life. My mother shouted at me so much. She told me, "Didn't I tell you not to go out the house and play? Look at yourself now. Look, you just messed up yourself. You just broke your bones now because you disobeyed my rules. Didn't I tell you not to go?" And then I say, "Yes, you told me." And then I apologized. I apologized to her many times. I was so remorseful about what I did. I was feeling so much regretful. At the same time, I was feeling the physical pain. And then after that, it's like she would just give me bitter, sweet herb. Like she would be aggressive with me, she would shout at me, but then at the same time she would sympathize because I was in that situation and I needed some comfort. So she will just be switching from being aggressive and being nice. And also the thing that was frustrating her a lot is that now she have to lose her business day and lose some money because I disobey the instructions and I go to my neighbor's house to play. And if I could have never went there, she could have been doing business and getting money. So she was telling me it's very inconvenient. Look at us now, we won't have money coming in, plus we're spending too much money on transport and your medical needs as well. So okay, after that the doctors checked me. The doctors initially thought that it was not a severe situation. They could just put on some bandages on me and then I could be fine and I could be ready to go home soon. But then whenever they put on the bandages on me, the situation intensified. Like I would swell a lot and they would manage me with the pain meds as well. But then nothing was helping at that time. And then they checked me, they scanned my bones. They say that my bones, my toe bones got dislocated from the original place. And since I got those dislocations, my joints are no longer attached to my bones. They just shifted, and then they would probably need to put something in me that will hold the bones together. And I also had bone fractures on my toes. So the doctors decided that okay, since I'm very young, they won't be able to put me under general anesthesia. They will just put me under local anesthesia. So they just injected me with a lot of injections, hoping that I would finally go to sleep. I'll finally be able to go to sleep, and then after going to sleep they can operate on me. But I told myself in my heart that I will not go to sleep no matter how much they can inject me. And when I tell myself something in my mind, it's like my body responds to the thing that I'm telling my mind to do on or to not do. Okay, so after that the doctors injected me with a lot of local anesthesia injections. I wasn't going to sleep, and then I would fight my sleep off when I felt like it was coming to me so aggressively, and then I would feel like I was going to vomit. And then after that they decided that no, this child is very young, she's only 7 years old, and then if we keep on injecting her with these drugs because we're trying to force her, she will just get injured. her health will be messed up. She could even possibly die if we are trying to overdose her too much, because she is not sleeping. We've tried everything that we can to put her to sleep, but then she's not sleeping. So they decided that they would take me to theater for general anesthesia, so that they can be able to operate on me, whereas I'm under the general anesthesia. So I was instructed, not really, I was instructed. My mother was instructed about things that she had to do, that I had to do, and the things that I should avoid doing before going to that operation room. So one of the things that she was told was that I shouldn't eat anything a night before I go to the operation room. If I eat anything, I might die. I might not wake up from the operation. And then but then as for me, it's like when my mother told me that she had to sign those forms, and she was informed that I shouldn't eat anything a night before, I decided not to eat the whole day because I was scared. I felt like, okay, what if I eat in the morning, or I eat my lunch and die the next day? So I didn't eat anything for the whole day. And then after that, the next day I got operated. They put an iron implant on me, so that it can just hold all my bones together. And before I went to the theater, they made my mother to sign a lot of forms that if I go for that operation, I'm standing a high risk of like losing my life. Anything can happen. If the electricity goes off, whereas I'm under the operation room, I might just sleep forever and never wake up. I might just die. And then she was asked to sign those forms. Then my mom was like praying that I should make it alive. The electricity shouldn't go off, and everything should go well, and I shouldn't lose my life. I was also praying for myself. So my mother signed all those forms. And then I went to the operation room the following day. And when I went to theater, when you go to theater, guys, under general anesthesia, they put something on your nose. It's like a cup. It's a cup-like thing. It's like a mask, but then instead of it being a soft mask, it's like a cup type of mask. And then it connects to your nostrils, and then it takes your oxygen off. Is it oxygen? Your breath of life. Yes, let me say that. It just takes your breath of life, and then it keeps it on a certain type of equipment. That's why if the electricity goes off, like, that equipment might not be able to retain your breath and like bring it back to you. Maybe the technology is better now. It was the year 2000s then. Maybe it could have been 2002. I don't remember very well which year it was. Maybe the risks are actually decreased now because of technology. Okay, so I got operated. They put this implant on me. I was under a lot of pain, and then they brought me back to my ward to stay there, to remain there. But then I want to tell you something else that happened whereas I was in that ward, whereas I was admitted in that hospital. What happened was that there was a baby, a child who was around my age. That child was admitted before I was admitted to that ward. And then she was so healthy. She was playing, she was laughing, she was running around and doing everything that a child does. But we were all wondering what's wrong, like what's the problem? Why was she brought in this ward which had patients who broke their bones, whereas she didn't break any of her bones? So we're all wondering, like, what's the matter? What could be wrong with her? Because she is so healthy. And then we were told that the mother brought the child to the hospital because the child had K legs. Yes, you've heard me, K legs, right? Of which I also have K legs, and I don't feel insecure about my K legs. I rock my K legs in any outfit. I actually love my K legs. I feel like they blend very well with my body and with my structure. It wasn't even a bad type of K-legs that she had. It's only probably the mother was over analyzing her, and who was noticing that she had that type of K-legs. So the mother told the doctors that she wants the K-legs to be corrected. Apparently she took it as a birth defect, but the child was operating very well. But then it was her societal standards of beauty that made her to take the child to the hospital, whereas she was healthy, and whereas she didn't break a bone, so that she can be operated on. The doctors told her that it will be an experiment. They advised that she doesn't go ahead with that type of operation because they have never ever operated on someone who had K legs, so that the person can have straight legs. And same applies, they never even dealt with someone who have a rictus type of legs. They never operated on that type of person to make the legs straight. It's something new to them. But then if she wants to go ahead, they will respect her wishes, but it's something that they strongly advise against, because it's like a beauty procedure. It's not a necessary medical operation. It's a cosmetic surgery that she wanted them to perform. So even the nurses advised that lady that this child is very healthy. You shouldn't go ahead with this operation. The doctors even told her that the child might get permanently disabled. She might never be able to walk again. Yes, there are chances that she could get permanently disabled if you go ahead with this operation. But then the mother was so stubborn. The mother said, go ahead, do the operation. I believe that my child won't get permanently disabled. Everything's going to be fine. Just go ahead, operate on my child. So they did operate on her. So on the day I came from theater, she was still walking around fine. But then the next day, they operated on her, and then she came back. The next day, we never got any rest in that ward. The child was crying 24/7. She didn't stop because of pain meds or any type of drug that they administered to her. She was in constant pain all the time, and she was crying all the time. Not just crying like, okay, tears are coming out of her eyes. No, she was wailing out loud. That child was screaming. Everybody knew that there was a child who just got operated on, and she was crying non-stop. So she was in a wheelchair when she came back. She couldn't do anything. She couldn't move even for a little bit because the operation was very, very much invasive. So the nurses started cursing the mom now. One thing about South African nurses, guys, they will curse the hell out of you when they don't know how to help you. Especially if they told you not to do something. They will curse the hell out of you, and they will make sure that you are reaping the consequences for your actions. So she was cursed a lot. You are exalting yourself. You think you are better than any other person. There are many people. Some people are ugly. They don't get their faces done. Some people have the rickets, and they've been fine with that until they get old. Some people have K-legs. This baby is not even the first person to have K-legs. K-legs are very common, but then you're exalting yourself. You think that you're something, and you also think that everything around you should be perfect. Even the standards of beauty that you want your child to hold, you're not even perfect yourself. Your own body is not perfect, but you never done any operations on you. But then you force this child to go through this excruciating pain, only because you couldn't take the fact that your child have legs that are slightly tilted on the side. And she was even walking normal. She's not even walking in a weird way. Her walk was very normal. It's not like she was limping, she was walking weird. She was absolutely healthy. But then you are just exalting yourself. That's why you're in this situation. So now the doctors and nurses, they decided that because this baby is crying all the time, and the only time she gets rest is when she is sleeping, they decided to inject her the sleeping meds all the time. She was being injected all the time so that she can go to sleep, and she can be in that state all the time. And then they decided also that they would put her in a coma. They will just put her in a coma until she gets better, so that she doesn't cry all the time, because they say that it would mess up with her lungs, with her vocal boxes, with her throat, and it will also put her in a very, very depressed state if she continues to cry. So it's more risky for her to cry like that all the time. But then I got discharged before she was discharged, so I don't really know what happened to her, if she ended up being disabled forever, or if she was able to recover with some defects, maybe serious defects, limping, or if she was able to recover and have beautiful straight legs and walk straight without appearing like she's having any problems when she's taking her steps. I don't really know what happened to her. I hope that she didn't get disabled after that operation. So they discharged me. I went back home and with that implant. But then when they were discharging me, they told my mom that the iron implant that they put in me should be changed after every 10 years. Otherwise, if it's not changed, it's gonna rust, and it's gonna make me sick, and it can cause health complications on me. You understand? But the crazy fact is that I never got that implant changed. I was 7 years old when it was installed on my body, and now I'm a 30 years old woman. So I've been having it for 23 years, and it never got changed. 10 years passed, more than 10 years passed. I never went to the hospital to check it or to change it. But then I'm healthy with it, and I'm still moving around with my iron implant. Okay, that's the end of the story for today, right? Yeah, sometimes when we are younger and when we are children, we think that it's fun to go through some stuff so that we get attention. But then when we get into those situations, we realize that now it's not going to be the same. You won't get that type of attention that you're craving. You may get the opposite. But then it's life. You just learn from those things. that's all for tonight, guys. I'll try to go to sleep because it's actually very late in my country. I should be sleeping. I shouldn't be here on live, but then I missed you so much. I missed going on live. I missed telling you stories. That's why I decided that, okay, since I didn't go live on Friday, let me just take this opportunity to come here and talk to you a little bit. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting my content, liking, sharing, and following my page as well. I'm live with Enzen on YouTube. Please go there, subscribe to the channel, like my videos, comment, and contribute to the content. I'll talk to you again probably tomorrow. For now, have a good night. Bye-bye. I love you so much.